What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with me on the Daily Sovereignty Report. I'm your host, Aaron Thomas. Hauhitan is my hereditary name, and today we are looking at 5 huge stories happening in Washington, D.C. up on the big hill. It's happening right now. The normal news channels are completely missing these stories. They're trying to say that you're just a reservation, you don't need to know this stuff. But we are here today to talk more about it because they are a massive deal for Native reservations, for tribal leaders, and the businesses that keep our communities running. Let's start with our first big story from the highest court in the land. If you turn on the regular news today, everyone's arguing about voting laws. They're fighting about what kind of ID you need to vote, how it's going to affect big cities. But here's the real story that they're not telling you. The Supreme Court just saved a massive lawsuit brought by 2 tribes. Some smaller courts tried to say that the regular people of this United States and tribal groups aren't even allowed to sue the government when voting rules are unfair. Now, that would basically take away the best tool tribes have to fight back when politicians try to mess with their voting lines. Now, why does this matter? Look, if a tribe wants to protect its land, its schools, or its businesses, they need to elect leaders who actually care about Native people. Not just the ones on the reservation, but the leaders off the reservation. This Supreme Court move keeps that fight alive. It means tribes can still sue the government to make sure voting booths are actually placed on reservation land so our people can easily vote. Tribal leaders need to get their lawyers ready right now. If we lose our right to stand up in court, we lose our voice. Next up, let's talk about money. Money, 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 money. Money. There is a new law moving through Congress that changes how tribes can borrow money to build big projects. Now, right now in Washington, D.C., politicians are debating taxes and big business loans for cities like New York and Los Angeles. The experts on Wall Street are talking about building state highways, completely ignoring regular reservation communities. What's new? But check this out. A new bill called the Tribal Tax and Investment Reform Act was just introduced. For a really long time, the government treated tribes unfairly compared to state governments when it came to borrowing money for big projects. States got special tax breaks on loans, but tribes didn't. This new bill is trying to fix that problem for good. Now, why is this a total game changer for tribal businesses and casinos? It finally makes things equal. It means your tribe could borrow money at a super cheap rate to build things like new housing complexes, better internet grids, or even expand a massive casino resort. Tribal money managers need to watch this bill closely. It's going to make building big things way cheaper for our communities. While that tax bill is great news, the new federal budget has some bad news that tribal leaders need to fix immediately. The budget fight in Washington, D.C. is getting pretty wild. The government wants to spend less money next year to try and stop prices from going up on everything. The normal news is throwing a fit about cuts to the military and public schools, but hidden deep in the paperwork, the government is trying to cut money for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, also known as the BIA. Most importantly, they are cutting the money used to help tribes buy back land and protect reservation borders. Now, this is happening at the exact same time the Senate is trying to pass laws to give land back to tribes. Now, without that budget money, the BIA won't have enough workers to actually process the paperwork. We've been told they're actually shorthanded now. Now, what does this mean for us? If your tribal council is trying to buy more land to grow their casino, protect their water, or build houses, everything is going to get stuck in massive waiting lines. Less money means everything moves at a snail's pace. Tribal leaders need to get on a plane to D.C. right now and tell Congress to put that money back before it's too late. Now, story number 4 is a massive win for anyone trying to build a house on a reservation. A brand new law just passed, and it destroys a ton of annoying U.S. federal government red tape. Now, everyone on television is talking about how hard it is to buy a house right now because bank loans are so darn expensive. But the normal news never talks about how incredibly hard it is to get a house loan when you live on reservation trust land. Well, here's the good news, y'all. The Tribal Trust Land Homeownership Act just officially became a real law. It's called, once again, the Tribal Trust Land Homeownership Act. Now, in the past, trying to get a bank loan to build a house on reservation land took months or even years because the government paperwork took forever. Now, this new law forces the U.S. government workers to stick to a strict deadline. They have to finish the paperwork fast, no excuses. It makes life way easier for families on the reservation. Now, this law means tribal members can actually buy or build a home, and local businesses and the business owners, they can get their loans to open shops right on the reservation without waiting years for permission. Faster paperwork means more construction. More construction means more jobs and better neighborhoods for our people. All right, our last story for the Daily Sovereignty Report today looks at how tribes are finding new ways to make money that does not involve slot machines, thanks to a new push in the Senate. Now, summer vacation season is starting up, and everyone's trying to figure out where to travel. Billions of dollars are being spent on airlines, hotels, and beaches. But where is all that money going? The Senate is trying to pass a bill called the Native Act Amendment. This law would send direct cash grants from the government straight to tribes to build up cool vacation spots and cultural centers. It skips the state governments entirely, so the money goes right into the hands of tribal communities. This matters because tribal businesses shouldn't have to rely only on the casino to make money. Now, this cash lets tribes build beautiful museums, start outdoor tour companies, and invite travelers from all over the world to see reservation attractions. It gives tribal marketing teams the money they need to turn a small local casino into a massive holiday resort that everyone wants to visit. And that's it for everything that's on my list for today's edition of the Daily Sovereignty Report. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below about how these rules affect your reservation, and share this video with your friends so everyone stays informed. See you tomorrow.